What's going on, gamers? Here we are back with some more Outriders, and today I'm going to be going over why I feel Firestorm is definitely the best skill tree to be using for the pyromancer. So if you want to see why I've kind of jogged on the bottom tree, the more damaging one, and the top one, which again pretty much gives more damage, then stay tuned. That's coming up next. Welcome back, all you guys and girls. As always, for all things gaming, for all things Xbox, and of course a lot more Outriders and all the latest and greatest in gaming coming soon. Then why not hit that subscribe and bell icon? Now, will it clear the fastest? Probably not, to be perfectly honest. But the amount you can do in it and the survivability that you get just means that you're almost guaranteed to get kind of 14-15 clears. It's really good, you can make yourself nigh unkillable, and to be perfectly honest, you don't lose out on as much as you'd think. So, for example, if I come over to here, I'm going to show you some of the stuff you can do that you just can't do using any other skill tree. So what I'm going to do is kill a few of the little ads, and then I'm going to show you how tanky we can be on these big brood mothers and a few of the alphas. Right, so as you can see, we're having quite a few of them turn up now. So let's see how we actually kind of get on. Right, so we are now in amongst pretty much everything. Well, going to do a melee to get the kind of flame damage up and to make sure I've got a bit of regen. And now I'm going to let them punch me in the face as soon as they decide to. And now I'm going to put a punch in, because now they're on fire again. And my regen's back up. So what about if we've got the brood mothers in the kind of situation? Maybe they'll wipe us out. Well, let's have a look. So I'll pop around here, and get punched in the face. He says almost wiping to make myself look stupid. But yeah, here we go. Much bigger enemy. And all I'm doing is just going to be using my heat wave and melee just to keep things on fire. How long can we last? I'm not using any skills. Well, I suppose the melee is a skill, but you know what I mean. I'm not really trying. Now, if I was using any other tree, I would have died about 5 times over by now, give or take. And to be perfectly honest, if I wanted to kill them, but here we go, I'm actually going to try now. Right, that should be 2 brood mothers down. Come on, all over. There we go. Right, so obviously don't worry about the timer because, well, let's face it, I wasn't really trying to go for the time. But you lose out on a tiny bit of time, so if you're doing speed clears, you're not going to be going for Firestorm tree. If, however, you are going for anything else, if you're trying to get to the end of an actual event, you're trying to clear the expeditions, you're struggling to not die, because at the moment that armor mitigation thing is still there. It is an absolute nightmare. I made an absolutely amazing bottom tree build, and got right to the end of a video that I was recording and got one shot and everything went for no reason whatsoever, mainly because I just didn't have enough health to take that initial hit. With the Firestorm tree you do, so if you've got that mitigation or not, it doesn't tend to matter quite as much. Obviously it does matter, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter as much because you've got that regen. So I'll show you a few of the kind of nodes that you'll want to put on that really help you to survive, and why I think that it's the best skill tree at the moment. Right, so here we have the skill tree, and if you go down the middle path on nigh on pretty much everything other than the pyromancer, you're in a bit of trouble because you just don't hit hard enough. You haven't got the damage output, you're gonna struggle. because most pyromancers are going to be going for anomaly when they get their kind of acari set, you don't have to worry as much. Is it nice to hit 400,000 extra? Yes, it is absolutely amazing. Is it nice to be able to pop damage and make sure that you're going to do a little bit extra each time? If you're like me, you love big numbers, but you probably also like getting to the end of the expeditions. This middle tree here, because of how much anomaly you get from the acari set, and I'd say it's probably one of the reasons why this tree works so well, you don't have to worry so much. It's much more viable than in nigh on pretty much every other class. So this middle one right here, believe it or not, everything in this is pretty dang good. I'm not gonna lie. If I go down to this bottom tree, there is a lot of stuff that's very hit and miss. Some of it's nice, some of it's good. It doesn't work perfectly. It really doesn't. For example, this one. Killing a marked enemy heals you by additional 12% of your max health. I have never picked that up. Not once. I don't think I would. I don't think anyone really would. This one down here. Your Phoenix will revive you with 100% of max health. Its activation cooldown will be reduced to 135 seconds. Nigh on most times you just can't afford to put that in. It's not the best. You have a lot of gun damage, which is nice. But at the moment, most times, unless you're going for a gun build, you will be making sure you go up the top here with gun build. These ones down here, you might deviate and go down. But if you're trying to get that explosive damage, down here doesn't do as much as you'd think. And the reason for that is that these nodes that are really good, so for example this one, increase your skill damage by 8% and increase your skill damage by 8% as soon as I can speak. I don't know what's going on today. And this one here, decrease your skill cooldowns by 10%, and that's all cooldowns. If you wanted to, you can deviate off of this tree and go down and pick them up. Honestly, if you're running certain skills, so for example, if you are probably trying to do the strongest one at the moment, the fastest one for clears, so if you're really good at gaming, if you're not worried about this mitigation thing, that one is still probably the fastest clear time. Obviously the Ash Clan and the Overheat. You may well need to go into here. I think you probably could go up here now as well. From what I've seen, I've tried a few things, it seems to be working quite well. But for myself, this middle tree, it just has everything going for it. So, say for example I go here, I go here, I go here, I want all of those. Both of these, I really do want both of those. Most of the time I can't get it, but I do want both of those. If I could pick that up, I'd pick that up. This one here, again, more health, keeps you alive, really good. This one, the moment burn ends on an enemy, inflicts them to ash. Believe it or not, that's actually quite good as well, especially if someone's got like 1 or 2 hit points left and they're going to come after you, but you just turn around and you can hit them. So if you want to pick that up, that's not that bad as well. It is quite a little bit of CC, it's nice in some builds. Just down here, increased damage by 20% against enemies below 30% health. Absolutely amazing. This one, resistance. Yep, I wish I could pick that up as well. Just over here, weapon damage. I want that, and anomaly damage. This one, more health. Again, right here, anomaly power. We want anomaly power. Nigh on everything in this tree is something you really want to pick up, and that's why it's so good. Obviously, you can't pick everything up. I really wish you could. I would really recommend picking this up if you go middle tree. This right here is basically your surviving button. Activating ignite skills increases your armor by 45% for 10 seconds. Absolutely amazing. If you want to survive, if you want to get to the end of any expedition, put that on. Trust me, it is a lifesaver. Just over here, double skill leech. Again, keeps you alive. Just here, 15% more damage on burn, more cooldown, and at the end, really nice, a little bit extra damage, basically when you're using your skill moves and when you're using your firepower. But obviously, most times it'll probably just be your skill moves, but it all depends on what kind of a build you've got on. But again, it makes the whole build viable, it makes the whole tree viable. And for myself, when I look at some of these trees, some of the things I'm probably never going to pick up. Whereas if I go to this middle tree, I want all of it. It's so good, it's so viable, and honestly, if you've got yourself an acari set, trust me, and you want to get to the end, especially if you're struggling with anything, try that middle tree. For myself, it's got some of the best skill nodes in the game. It's so fun to play, it's so tanky, and it's just going to get you those nice clears and allow you to gear up much better if you're missing quite a few of legendaries or you're after a certain amount of pieces. And obviously with that mitigation thing at the moment, you may well want to do it just for the fact that you're not going to get one shot. Right, all you gamers, I'm sure I've taken up more time than I should have, but for myself, that's why I think the middle tree is the best. Don't get me wrong, the bottom one is still probably the best for damage. The top is amazing as well because you get vulnerable, but for staying alive, especially in those anomaly builds, that middle tree is second to none, and it's just going to make sure, especially like I said at the moment, that you clear those CT15s and 14s without kind of throwing your controller on the floor and breaking it. As always, guys and girls, I hope that's helped a few of you out. For all things gaming, for all things Xbox, take care. I'll see you on next day.